Hi everyone, my name is Gabriela from Tulip Art Designs, and in today's tutorial I will show you how to sketch such a donut. Okay, do you see very well? Yes. It's a very fun project. This keeps falling down. It's a very fun project that I created following a reference photo. So if you are interested, let's dive in. Oh yeah, if you didn't subscribe to the channel yet, please do, because I upload a new tutorial every week and I am just happy to have you around and help you get creative in your free time. Now let's dive in. Okay, before we start with the donut, I wanted to let you know what supplies I'm using, because if you're new here, you are probably asking. So for the sketchbook, I'm using the 𝐬𝐻𝐫𝐞𝐬 100% watercolor sketchbook, and it's a cold press paper, so I am loving it. It has a very small texture and it's just perfect for drawing with the ink pen. I have my Mary Blue watercolors. I have a video on how I made this palette. It's a ceramic watercolor palette, and I picked the colors by myself and set this up, so you can find a video below. I am using Princeton Velvet Touch watercolor brushes. I really like the size 4 and 10, and I have a wash brush for the cases when I want to make a big wash. I have the Jelly Roll pen and the Pigma Micron size 02, and it is a waterproof ink pen, which means that when I draw and add watercolor on top of my sketch, my lines will not bleed. Okay, I have some water, towel and a heat gun to speed up the process. The heat gun is not really necessary, but it's definitely helpful. Now we will do a series of 3 very nice and lovely illustrations. The first one is the donut, as you already saw. So I will start with inking my sketch, and I will start with the glaze on top of it. I already have the sketch and the pencil sketch, and it is inspired by a photo from a website called Unsplash. So you can just find photos for free there and use them as a reference and inspiration. So this is one of the photos there. I usually like to start out with a very light ink line. I go back and forth with my pen, and then I add thickness to the bottom side. So for each of these waves, I add thickness on the same side. If you like very smooth lines, that's absolutely fine. You can definitely draw very smooth and nice lines. I like the sketchy style lately, and I really like to learn how to let perfection go. So that's why I'm using the sketchy style. So, you know, I will not focus on perfection too much. Now I will sketch the donut itself. I start with a very light line, and then I go back, add thickness, which also brings a little bit of thickness to my illustration. Okay, I will sketch the decoration on top of the glaze, and this will be painted in different colors. Okay, I think that's for the sketch. I need my eraser to erase all the pencil lines, because once we add watercolor on top of it, it will not be able to erase the pencil lines anymore. Okay, I think maybe a little bit closer is better. If you want to skip the pencil sketch, I have an outlines template on my Patreon, and it's already available to be downloaded. So if you need it, go check it out. I will leave a link below. Let me then grab my size 10 watercolor brush. And I don't have a color that is this donutty color, so I will use yellow ochre with a little bit of light red to create this nice golden color. And I will go in and paint the donut. Okay, I hope you're not hearing the noise on the outside, but who knows, when I edit the video I will know. Watercolor sketching is very relaxing, so make sure to not focus too much on the perfection. I will take a little bit of burnt umber and drop it in here around the edge while it's still wet, so it can bleed and it will create a nice 3D look. And if it's already dry, then we can blend it with a clean and dry brush, just like this. Mix it here on the paper. I'm just adding water, but very tiny layer, and then picking up more of this burnt umber, adding it here around the corners. So this will create this nice burnt effect. Just like this, maybe a bit more. I am taking very small amount of paint, and I'm not adding extra water, but just with my tip of my brush I am dropping it in while my paper is still wet, so there are no hard edges, and the paint just bleeds and mix on the paper. Okay, we can do the same for the inner part. So I will take some of this goldenish color. I will try to work fast. It's very warm in here, so it dries very quickly, which I definitely don't enjoy so much, but never mind, we can work with this. And then I will take a little bit of burnt umber. If you work with the big brush, just make sure to tap on the paper towel before you drop in this paint. We don't want to have too much burnt umber, but just a little bit around the edges, something like this. before we continue, I want this to be dry, so I will use my heat gun and then I will do the glaze part. Okay, now the glaze is white on the photo. You don't have to stick to the real colors of what you're sketching, but I want to show you how you can paint a white subject. So I will take my brush, I will take a little bit of water, and I will paint just with water. My paper is a little bit warm from the heat gun, so I will keep adding water until it's even wet everywhere. And don't stress too much about the wet ink wet technique. It's amazing technique, it's very relaxing. You just have to think about what is in your control, and it's to know, so it's important to know that the paint goes where there is water. So this is what is in your control, where to put the water, so the paint will go there. And then you know that where you touch with your brush, it will be darker, and then it will spread around, and the paint does such a magic. So just try to focus on this and enjoy the moment. Then I will take Payne's Gray. Let me just move it here so you see. And it's more transparent. And I will go with the tip of my brush and add it here around the edge. And if you think that it's too dark, you can wash your brush, dry it very well, and then go back and blend it. Pick some of that paint, dry your brush, you can wash it, dry it again, and keep doing the same. So now it looks just like a small shadow that creates this 3D view, 3D effect. Then we can keep picking up if it's too dark with a dry brush. And that's all about it. Okay? I hope that, I think I will add a little bit of paint here. I will wash my brush, dry it, and just blend it out, just like this. And if you think, oh, but this is too hard, I am not very good in water control, what's good to practice is, once your paper is wet, then make sure that your brush has more concentrated paint and it has less water, because you already have the water on the paper, okay? You don't need more water. So that's, I hope this is a helpful tip. I will make this dry and I will add a little bit of... Okay, this is dry, my paper is very warm. But we will not use wet in wet technique now. I will just grab some vibrant colors and add them with the tip of my brush. So I'm using the round brush 4, and I will start taking paint directly from the pan here. It already has a little bit of water, so it's very creamy consistency. And I will use my brush, tip of the brush, to paint these little sprinkles. Then I will wash my brush, dry it, and pick some creamy magenta, or I have the rose lake here, and I am wiping my brush on the side so there is no dripping paint from my brush. Okay, it's very important. I use just the tip of my brush and make a small brush stroke following my ink lines. Okay, maybe one more here. I will wash it and take the next color. I need a little bit of water here to reactivate my paint. And then yellow. Like this. Maybe one here. Okay. And then a little bit of green. To have a very vibrant color, you need less water. It's almost like a gouache then. But this is what I need for these decorations here. Okay. And then some blue. I need water to reactivate it. And I'm getting more and more paint here, just in the pan, directly in the pan. Okay. Okay, like this. I want, of course, to finish my sketch by adding some splatters, so maybe blue will be nice. I'm using the small brush. I fill it very well with paint. I will hold it horizontally and tap on top of it. It is a messy technique, so it's definitely possible that some paint will be splattered on my donut, but that's okay. I think that's it. I think I'm ready. I will wash my brush and leave it to lay down so it will dry. So that was it for today. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you stayed until the end, I hope that you had some fun. I hope that you painted along. If you didn't do it, make sure to just make some time for yourself and sit and paint. This donut is definitely very nice, fun, and it can take 10-15 minutes just for some extra me time, just for this peaceful moment that you need after a long day. Watercolor sketching is definitely the best technique for such a creative hobby. So I hope that you definitely enjoyed the video. If you didn't subscribe yet, make sure to do it so you will not miss any of the coming videos. And I hope to see you in the next tutorial. Bye!